Hi friends, today on Spuds and Scones we're doing one of my very favorite recipes, which is Irish soda bread. Let's get started. Okay, first up are our dry ingredients. So we're going to do 4 cups of all-purpose flour that I've spoon and leveled to add a little bit of sweetness. Irish soda bread is never too sweet, but just a little bit of sweetness will make it just right. 3 tablespoons goes in here. That's just regular granulated sugar. And for our leavening agent, this is the soda in the Irish soda bread. We are not using Coca-Cola or 7-Up. 1 teaspoon of baking soda goes in, along with 1 teaspoon of just good old table salt. That's going to add just the perfect amount of saltiness to it. Dry ingredients have come together great. Now we're going to add 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Now the unsalted butter, I always like to use that in baking versus salted. That way you can control the salt content of your recipe. Since we've got our table salt in here, then we know exactly how it's going to taste. Oh, perfect. All right, we want to make sure this is cold. So I've just diced this here into little cubes. We're going to sprinkle that in. All right. Now you can use 2 knives, you can use your hands. This doesn't have to be super cold butter, but what I always like to use, just so it doesn't get too warm in the dry mixture, is a pastry cutter. Excellent. So we've got our pastry cutter here. And like I said, if you don't have that, 2 knives would work great. An excellent tool for any sort of baking where you just want to keep your butter cold, anything like biscuits or scone dough. This is actually fairly similar to a scone dough, but instead of baking powder, we're going to do that baking soda, hence the soda and Irish soda bread. What we want to look for in our butter is that it's kind of like pea-sized gravel, I like to say. And you go like that. You kind of see the butter in there. Beautiful. We're well on our way to getting some delicious Irish soda bread. Next up, we're going to add some sweetness to our Irish soda bread. You can just do it plain if you'd like. It's great with soups and stews. It's going to be definitely a not too sweet bread. But I always like to add some raisins in there for just a little bit of sweetness. All right, we've got 1/2 cup of regular raisins, and 1/2 cup of golden raisins I put in here. A lot of recipes you see just the raisins, but I love the extra kind of tartness that golden raisins provide. If you don't have them, totally fine, just use a cup of raisins, but we've got 1/2 cup of each in here. Get that all nice and combined. Looking beautiful. Okay, now wet ingredients are pretty simple here. We've got 1 large egg here, and then to that we're going to add 1 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Now I've got whole milk buttermilk here. If you just see the low fat, the whole milk is a little bit harder to find, but I found it at Target, so maybe it'll be easier than you think. Whole milk buttermilk is just the buttermilk, but it's just got a little more fat in it. I love the richness that it provides. And I know some recipes too don't have the egg. I love adding just 1 egg. It adds that richness again, like I said. Still makes it nice and light, but adds a little more golden color as well to the bread dough. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Excellent. All right, we've got that whisked together here. Now just like our scone recipes, and if you would like to see other scone recipes, just be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video. Of course, we provide lots of scone recipes in our Spuds and Scones channel. So we've got our wet ingredients here. Going to make a well. Put that right in the middle. Beautiful. And then what we're going to do is just fold this in. So we're going to work from the outside, work our way in. And the biggest thing that we're looking for is a shaggy dough. Shaggy! Now what I mean by shaggy is that the flour is just barely moistened and that we can just bring it together here. Because you can always mix it a little bit more, but you can't unmix it. And with a quick bread like Irish soda bread, the less you handle it, the softer it'll be. You might need a couple more tablespoons of flour here that we've indicated in the recipe. We'll start with that 4 cups here. And we will just turn this out onto our board. Getting messy in the kitchen here. You know it's a great recipe when you're getting a little messy in the kitchen. So just going to bring that together with our hands. There's no need to knead. Food pun. It'll almost look like it's not come together enough. But if you can get that together in a disc right here, it will look wonderful. We're looking for about an 8-inch disc. And it's just going to really depend on how big and thick that you want the Irish soda bread, and then the cooking times will adjust as needed. But what I've indicated in the recipe here, it's just about this thick. So it's looking wonderful. Now I'm going to bring a parchment lined baking sheet over here. And we're going to put that on our baking sheet and we will get to baking. Okay, our Irish soda bread dough is almost ready for the oven. We've got it on that parchment lined baking sheet. Just one more thing to do. Actually, two more things to do. First will be to add some unsalted butter. So we've got 2 tablespoons unsalted butter that we've melted. So that'll bring our total for the recipe at 1 stick, so it'll be easy peasy. This is going to add a nice golden brown color, some extra flavor. One more thing. This makes it quintessential Irish soda bread. We're just going to score an X in our dough. So we're going to bring that down about a 1/2 inch, I'd say. Do a nice X here. Beautiful. I just kind of go through it again. Make sure that we add that X in there. And what the scoring is going to do is going to add some extra air into the bread so when it bakes, it's going to make sure that the outside is done at about the same time that the inside's done. We do not want a doughy bread here. Okay, our Irish soda bread is all ready for the oven. It is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to do it for about 40 to 45 minutes. If you want to know exactly if it's done, I would say about 180 degrees on a thermometer. But if it's golden brown at the bottom and golden brown at the top, that's what we're looking for as well. So into the oven we go. Irish soda bread is done. Oh. Smells like a bakery in here. Woo-hoo. That is smelling delicious, and our parchment looks like the Declaration of Independence, apparently.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
It is oven safe, 400 to 425 degrees, so we're good. Know that it's done. We did a temperature check, so it was 180 in the middle, which is perfect. That's going to make sure that our dough is nice and golden brown on top. We see that X is still intact here. It'll be nice and golden brown on the bottom. So if we can wait, which I will do my very best, we will wait for 10 to 15 minutes for it to cool, and then we'll get to cutting and enjoying. Okay, it's been 10-ish minutes, maybe a little less. I'm a little impatient when it comes to baked goods. All right, we're going to take a serrated knife. I think that's best for a nice rustic loaf like this. And with the X here, that's usually how I like to cut it. You can cut it from any side that you'd like, but this looks good. Cut from the middle. Beautiful. Oh, you hear that crispy crust there. It's going to be nice and soft in the middle. It's going to be steaming, I suspect, because 10-ish minutes I use very loosely. Beautiful. Wow, look at that. You see the crumb has come together. It's nice and baked. You see a nice brown bottom here, so when you tap it, it's got that crispy crust here as well out on top. Our melted butter did its job for sure. It's got the flavor added and a nice golden brown crust on top. If you like this recipe, be sure to click up here for another recipe. And until next time, this is Jessica from Spuds and Scones, signing off. Thank you.